Hello, dear viewer. I'm going to take you on a journey. It's going to be a journey through my experience on the coaching qualification. But I'm going to first start off by introducing myself. My name is Kate Jarvis and I work at the International School of Zug and Lucerne in Switzerland. It's a beautiful area in Switzerland and I work with some glorious colleagues at the high school campus. My role, I teach BTEC Creative Media, I teach MYP design and I'm a technology coach. I've been a technology coach for 10 years and I have a 20% allowance for that role. So the first thing I want to talk about is why this coaching qualification. A few comments that I'm reading from when I first started this course was things like, I feel like I'm running in the same circle again and again. And I feel like a vision needs to be given to me. Like I don't have any of the tools or even the power to decide what I want coaching to look like. I have to wait for that to be given to me by somebody else. So I felt like it was probably a good time for me to really understand what it meant to be a coach, what tools I already have but don't know I have, and what tools I need to develop. So that was really my starting point on this coaching qualification. Now, I just want to quote from when I started, because actually I've never been one to do affirmations. It just wasn't me. But when I was looking at this coaching, one of the things that they looked at is how can you help yourself gain the confidence? And the two affirmations that I wrote down, I want to be kind and compassionate, listen actively, working to create a space where our light is given the space to shine brightly. Each journey is valid. Every twist and turn helps us develop professionally. This includes the failures, as from these, the most surprising things can happen. In terms of what I already do, I have a website that I've maintained for a number of years. It was good through lockdown and it's got lots of resources and support. I have a 2-minute PD that used to be live but now is viewed through a slide deck. I do an education studio where we get to know staff and what they're working on and what they're enjoying at the moment. I do parent workshops, which I've done in person, and I've also helped support students to develop those workshops. I have surveyed staff to ask them what they're interested in, and I do it at the beginning and the end of the year. And in my SWOT analysis, I established that so my strengths are my interpersonal skills and the good relationships I have with people. I'm also good at working with staff on their goals, so try and help them move from an idea and look at different ways that can be put into practice. In terms of weakness, I do know that I shy away from really challenging practices, so I tend to work with people who have an idea of where they want to go and we work in collaboration to try and get there. I do shy away from ideas where I have to be the enforcer or I have to bring in activities that or bring in software or bring in ideas that I know people are not really going to be engaged with. I have a lack of self-belief, although I know a lot of people probably wouldn't recognise that if they knew me, but I do suffer a lot from the imposter syndrome, and I know that as a weakness has caused me probably some issues because I tend to think that I don't have the right to make these decisions or have these choices or be the person who has something to say. So that is something that I need to work on, that actually I do have things to say and I do have ideas to bring to the table. Opportunities, I think, at what we've got here is we have new management coming over, I have control over my time, and obviously I'm doing this course. One of my biggest threats is time, unfortunately, and I know it's everybody's. Mine is because it's a 20% role, and I don't like to hold on to that. I like to try and do as much as I can, but actually 20% is not a lot to be doing my job. I looked at the coaching cycle and the contact, goal, support and reflect. And I did it more intentionally. It's not that I've never done that before. It's just this time round I really looked at it and really focused in on each of those elements. That was really useful. I enjoyed it, and also it made me really consider how much emphasis you need to put on the reflection part, which I haven't been doing in the past. And the fact is that we look at people as they come to you and then we discuss where they're going to be going. but you don't always look at where they've come from. So having that discussion about where they come from, you can really start to pinpoint problems people have and things that have happened in the past that are maybe causing the problem that they have now. So that idea of going beyond just that conversation that you had. And I want to become more of an active listener. That's something I've worked on. It's something that's happened throughout this course. I've really enjoyed it, and it's something that I want to continue to engage with. This is what I would say to my principal. One is I would like to give us more space for growth of staff. I don't think coaching should be a way to evaluate your performance or just to do things so that we can evaluate people. I think we need to give space for real personal growth, a real area where you can look at something you want to develop and you're given the time to develop it. And that is something that I would love to see happen more in the coaching cycle. I would like us to have a look at how we let people experiment. Because if you give people a chance to play, they will then be able to use some of the tools to allow in experimentation, expecting failure because of experimentation, giving time for experimentation. Then I think you'll see people move up the SAMR ladder. And I think we won't just be replacing like for like, we will really be reconstructing, making alternative ways of doing this. But I think you need to give them time and space. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to do that. I would like to see coaching become a more intricate part of what we do, integral. Ultimately, I know that I think the school feels that coaching is, but because we don't allow for it to be done, I've worked at schools where we do peer-to-peer coaching, where we do advocate for mentoring, and it's actually more embedded into the school day. Then I think as a school we would understand coaching and see it more as part of our everyday world, and I think it should be. I think that's how people develop. And we do have coaching conversations because I hear them in the staff room, but they're not recognised, and it's because the coaching language and the coaching ideology is not embedded in the school, and I'd like to see that. Well, I'll develop my active listening skills. I think that's something I've started working on and I want to work on further, because I think active listening is the key to making sure that you're just not forcing your ideas, you're actually doing it in collaboration with somebody. I'd like to develop ways to shine a light on good practice. We have so much good practice at the school. I'd like to shine a light on that and look at ways that can be shared in a friendly, happy environment where it's a joy to share. And you get something from it, not all the time, but a lot of the time you will, and that's what I'd like to see. I need to improve my methods of data collection so that I really find out what people want and it's useful and it goes beyond people just asking me for little fixes to problems, which is at the moment, and I think that's partly because of how I've maybe sold my position, and I would like that to grow and develop, and for them to see it as a place where we could work together on a longer term projects or longer term ideas. And I would like to get myself out of my comfort zone and try and engage in pushing people beyond what they think they're capable of to what they are actually capable of. And I would like to be somebody that can build people up. And I think I do to a certain extent, but I think there's a long way to go, and I think part of that is me acknowledging that in some way, shape or form I am a leader and that I can do that. I would like to thank you all for listening, and I'm hoping that from that at least I've shown the growth I've made and some of the things I've learned while being on this course, or while being on this adventure, quite frankly. Thank you. Bye.